You ever tried self-hypnosis? It's pretty cool to be able to focus your mind on the specific changes that you want to make in a relaxed state. And yet, so many people shy away from it because they feel like it's too complicated or hard to do. So in this session of Thin Thinking, I am going to walk you through an easy self-hypnosis structure that you can use to focus on your weight goals or other life goals as well. Stay tuned. Did you know that our struggle with weight doesn't start with the food on your plate or get fixed in the gym? 80% of our weight struggle is mental. That's right. The key to unlocking long-term weight release and management begins in your mind. Hi there, I'm Rita Black. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, weight loss expert, best-selling author, and the creator of the Shift Weight Mastery process. And not only have I helped thousands of people over the past 20 years achieve long-term weight mastery, I am also a former weight struggler, carb addict, and binge eater. And after 2 decades of failed diets and fad weight loss programs, I lost 40 pounds with the help of hypnosis. Not only did I release all that weight, I have kept it off for 25 years. Enter the Thin Thinking podcast where you too will learn how to remove the mental roadblocks that keep you struggling. I'll give you the thin thinking tools, skills, and insights to help you develop the mindset you need, not only to achieve your ideal weight, but to stay there long term and live your best life. Sound good? Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Happy October. I hope you are having an amazing week. I am getting out the pumpkin spice seasoning and having a great time. I love to put it on yogurt and on a baked apple, which is super easy to do if you don't know how to do it. You put an apple in the microwave. You can core it first, just a little tip from me, and put it in for a couple of minutes, and voila, a baked apple. So in addition to my pumpkin spice, how to bake an apple really quickly tip, I am going to share with you today the first part of one of my monthly mastery meetings. In this particular meeting, we are focusing on self-hypnosis. In the first part of the session, I am walking my members through how to create their own morning self-hypnosis practice to be able to focus in on the things that they need to specifically work on. I thought you might want to do this for yourself. And it's not just weight oriented. If you want to do it for other things in life, it works for that too. So let's jump into the session, shall we? Okay, so what is self-hypnosis? So why I really think that at a certain point in your weight management, those of you who are just starting and hypnosis is all new to you, I would just say probably your best bet using the meditation in the morning, using the hypnosis sessions that you get, that's great. You can go far. I think that there comes a certain point on your journey to weight mastery where it can be helpful to start to bring in some self-hypnosis so that you can get a little more specific with yourself on things that are holding you back in your journey. And because the more you work your inner coach and the more you get to know yourself, because this is a self-knowledge journey, right? This isn't just a weight journey, but this is a journey of learning a new way of communicating with yourself. I feel like self-hypnosis adds to that because basically self-hypnosis is communicating with yourself, but on a deeper level. And really, as you guys have all been going through this journey of weight mastery, we're learning that it's not about being good, but it's about learning to use your brain in the best way. And self-hypnosis can be just such a great tool to use your brain in the best way. So what the definition of self-hypnosis or hypnosis, a procedure which suggestions are given during a state of focused awareness. I think a lot of people think, well, how can I do self-hypnosis? Because hypnosis is such a relaxed state. But the state of self-hypnosis, as you'll see, because we're going to approach it two ways today. We're going to approach it from just doing the structure of our morning meditation, but yourself, and focusing on a specific maybe trouble area for yourself. But we're also going to look at recording your own self-hypnosis, like some of the hairs maybe raising up on the back of your necks because you're like, I don't want to record my own voice, I hate it. But I assure you it will actually become fun for you if you decide to do this. You don't have to do anything we're suggesting today, but I just want to open up your eyes to this is a powerful tool. So you are in a state of relaxed but focused awareness when you're in the state of self-hypnosis, or when you are doing self-hypnosis. I think, did somebody ask a question for here? Hold on just a minute. I'm just going to check. No. Okay. So why self-hypnosis? So we don't have to just use self-hypnosis for weight management. And believe me, in the last year, I've used self-hypnosis for a lot of things, for motherhood, and, managing, like how I'm reacting or being active in my, relationships with my children, in my marriage. I use self-hypnosis for my business and, goals that I'm setting for myself. I use self-hypnosis, with my home, and, you guys, those of you who know me from the group, I like to garden. I've gotten into gardening even more during COVID. I have had some epic failures this year. But I've had some successes. So, but, I like to challenge myself in my mind, with the things, because I feel like self-hypnosis is a great way to change your belief about yourself. And we can't just hope to wake up one day and be completely changed in our opinion of ourselves. And we can't hope to always just wake up and have those things that are holding us back in our lives just, magically change. Some of them do, and hypnosis is a very powerful tool for change. But you're being able to do that yourself and to notice this is a little area I could focus on in self-hypnosis. It just gives you that power. And like I said, the more you can manage your mind, the more you're managing your mind rather than your mind managing you, hey, all the better, right? So you can use self-hypnosis to focus on a vision or a result. I had a vision of my drought-tolerant English country garden in the front of my house. And it looks more like a drought has hit it, an English country garden. But it's getting there. But I'm giving it some more love. But it's getting there. Other than my epic failure with my hydrangeas, which, we can talk about hydrangeas later. Or you can change a habit, right? A lot of us are all have different specific eating habits or exercising habits. That's something that you can use self-hypnosis for. You can use it just for relaxation. You can use it to work through problems. And that's, a lot of times with my motherhood, I use self-hypnosis to work through challenges. When is the best time to use self-hypnosis? Well, gosh, it can be any time. I like the morning the best. Why? Well, I think you guys all know that in the morning our brain is fresh and we've already been in a sleep state. So we're already sort of in a relaxed trance state in the morning as we're laying in bed. So it's a great time to practice self-hypnosis. But, sometimes I'll advise clients back in the day where everybody went to work and, we had cubicles or offices, I said, shut your eyes and tune out for 5 minutes and think about how you want your afternoon to go with regards to your self-care. And, if you don't want to end up snacking on chocolate, create that in your mind in a self-hypnosis session. Or think about when you want to come home that night, how you want things to roll out if you've been in the habit of coming home and, going into the kitchen and snacking and then going, oh, why did I do that again? So The nighttime is also great before you go to bed. I like the nighttime for setting things that you want to do in the morning. Like if you want to wake up and exercise in the morning, I think it's great to do a self-hypnosis at night, and visualize yourself getting up and getting out of bed and going and fulfilling your exercise and seeing you're finishing the exercise and how that feels, and that's going to feel great, and getting your clothes out, and really using self-hypnosis to motivate and inspire yourself before you go to bed. Then your subconscious mind can kind of work on that at night before you go to bed. And so I have this little book by my bed, and it kind of prompts me on all these kind of visions and goals, and I read a little paragraph every night before I go to bed, and so that I let that work, and then I wake up in the morning and I listen to some self-hypnosis. So definitely I like to use my brain the best I can. So I really do encourage you. And like I said, I encourage you not just for weight management, because really life management is weight management, right? So if it's tax time and we're stressed out about our taxes, or if it's, like I said, like managing the relationships in my life I see as weight management, because when I'm stressed out about my kids, or I'm if I'm not feeling like aligned with my husband, or if we just had a fight, how much easier is it for me to go and stress eat than it is, when things are running smoothly and I'm feeling connected to my kids and connected to my husband? Well, it's a lot easier, and it's a lot easier to manage your weight when your life is managed. So, really starting to, especially those of you who are reaching maintenance, because there's a number of you guys in our group now that are reaching maintenance. I think part of your weight maintenance is life maintenance, right? So starting to work, because as we start to solve those weight challenges, as that stops being so much what our focus is, then, we're expanding our vision broader to, because those things start to present themselves a little more too, because we aren't so focused on weight. Those other things start to come up. And the wonderful thing I think about a weight mastery journey is that then you start to master those things too, right? So it's not just about weight, but it becomes this life mastery, especially because in your weight mastery journey, you have learned to manage your mind. So there's two parts to our workshop. There is the basic morning self-hypnosis, which I'm going to go through with you. Those of you who are listening in my group, you guys know this basic structure because you've been listening to the morning meditations in the monthly mastery program. But I want to walk you through it so that you can focus, or kind of do it for yourself, and but add in a little change of things. Then the other thing, like I said, is to record your own self-hypnosis session. And again, this could be for weight management. This could be for getting your dog to, not get up on the couch. Okay. So here's the first part of your self-hypnosis, in the morning self-hypnosis. And those of you who are not familiar with the morning self-hypnosis because you're just listening to the podcast, why I believe the morning self-hypnosis can be very powerful is, like I said, one, you are already in a relaxed state, but most of us end up in those situations in our life, like the afternoon snacking or the night snacking, or not exercising. If we're doing those things again and again and again, our brain is already in an automated pattern with that. Why hypnosis or self-hypnosis in the morning or morning meditation is powerful is that it gets your brain, it's an interrupter, it interrupts your brain and it says, hey, we're not going to do that today, we're going to do it this other way today. So you're giving your brain an alternative route. Because by the time you show up to the vending machine, or by the time it's 1 o'clock and you're thinking about that afternoon snack, the train has left the station. It's going to be almost impossible for you not to follow through with going to the vending machine or, grabbing a snack out of the kitchen. But making those pattern changes can happen in the morning because you're thinking those situations through, and you're giving your brain, like, instead of, today when at 1:00 getting up and going to the vending machine, I'm going to sit at my desk. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to take that apple out of my bag that I brought instead. And I see myself eating it, and I'm loving it and enjoying it, and it's juicy and it's sweet. And so you can see that you can give yourself that alternative route, and your brain now has somewhere else to go. So that when you get there, your chances of following through on a new behavior are stacked far higher than they are had you just like fallen into your afternoon. So the thing about self-hypnosis is to practice self-hypnosis, right? So you are not going to be perfect at self-hypnosis at the beginning, and please put the perfectionist, the critic, in the closet. And before you begin your self-hypnosis, don't just like kind of go into self-hypnosis and like, I'm going to do self-hypnosis, but have a purpose for your self-hypnosis. Oh, I want to have a healthy day today. I want to break that afternoon snacking today. I want to, focus on my relationship with my daughter today. Like whatever that thing is, you're going in with that purpose for that. And then you're going to take a deep breath, and then you're going to relax yourself. Now, like I said, in the morning, when I do my self-hypnosis, I'm going to be honest with you. I take a deep breath, and then I dive into my self-hypnosis. I usually have a recording that I made that I listen to, but I mean, it's literally take a breath, and then I begin. Because I'm so relaxed already, and I wake up early and do it, it's fine. Like I'm relaxed enough to be in that state. So you might not need to super relax if you're doing this in the morning, but if you're doing this in the afternoon or the evening, you probably will need to relax yourself a little bit, right? So here are 3 different choices that you could do to relax yourself. One I really love because it's so easy, and we'll practice this one because we'll practice a little self-hypnosis session at the very end of this, but you're just like tensing up your muscles really tight, all the muscles in your body, and you're going to do this. You're going to tense, and then you're going to let it go. And you're going to do that 3 times or more until you feel relaxed. You get relaxed pretty quickly doing that, especially if you're lying in bed. So that is one of my favorite, like super easy, doesn't require much thinking. Just tense your muscles up and relax them, tense your muscles up and relax them. If any of you guys have questions about what I'm talking about, please feel free to throw them in chat. The next one is progressive body relaxation. Most of you guys probably are fairly familiar with progressive body relaxation. Again, that is just starting to focus your mind on different parts of your body, either starting with your scalp and moving down to your feet, or starting with your feet and moving up to the scalp. And all you're doing is closing your eyes and just focusing on your feet and thinking about your feet and just imagining the muscles in the feet relaxing. And they might not be totally relaxed, that's fine, but just focus on, it's really the focus that you're putting on the different body part that's beginning to relax your mind. So just then focus on your calves, then focus on your thighs, and you're going to move up a little bit at a time until you get to the head, right? And then you can move on into your self-hypnosis. Or you can go down the 5 steps, which in the recorded morning meditation that we have in my group, the Wonderful Monthly Mastery People, that's what we do. We go down 5 steps. And with each step, you are going, the idea is you go twice as deep as the step before. And don't get caught up in semantics, like just go with it. Just going, I'm going down my staircase of relaxation. And I swear to you, the more you do it, the more relaxed you get. You may not relax twice as deeply as the step before, really, but just act as if you are, and then you'll start doing it. The more hung up on that stuff, the less you get relaxed. So just go with it. Just say, yep, I'm relaxing twice as deep as the step before. And you can say stuff to yourself like, I'm opening myself to my day. I can't wait to get started with this new powerful step forward in my life. Like you can say whatever you like to say, or you can just go, I'm going 5 down to 4, 4 down to 3, 3 down to 2. Yeah. So you can choose. And then I like to add that little door at the bottom of the stairs, or, when you finish your progressive relaxation or finish tightening up your body. As you guys know, who've done hypnosis and meditation with me, I like to have that little door to your shift place. And I think of the shift place as a place of it's kind of like a ceremonial or ritualistic opening of the door to your subconscious mind, right? So we're opening that door to your subconscious mind, to that place of possibility, and stepping inside. So just imagine any kind of door you want, open the door and you step through. And that is, once you're inside, then you can, those of you who've worked with me know, you can create a very relaxing space for yourself. And this space could be out in nature, it could be a wooded area, it could be a meadow, it could be a beach, or it could be a room that you love that actually exists, or it can be something that you create in your own mind, sci-fi, but it needs to be relaxing. You don't want it too stimulating. Okay. Next. So once we're in there, I forgot, I put on this other thing here. Let me go back up. Well, no, I'm not going to go back up. But once you are in your wonderful, relaxing space, another easy thing to do is, as you guys know, in our morning meditation, we have a movie screen, right? And a movie screen is just really a great sort of, what would be the word that you would use? I'm drawing a blank. My brain is so fried. But a great vision, a great conduit for your creating something, right? Because a movie screen, we all know, we can sit in a chair in our wonderful, relaxing place, a nice, relaxing chair, and look up at our movie screen, and we're going to watch some stuff on the screen. And that's our palette of creation, okay, right? That's our palette that we are going to create on. And again, we get that choice. We can create our life, or our life can live us. We get to choose that, right? So that's another reason why I love self-hypnosis. It's so creative. So start with a big vision. What is that vision? If it's weight release, imagine yourself up on that screen at your ideal weight. And in the beginning, you want it to be you watching you, right? So, and get really specific about what you're going to look like at your ideal weight and what you're going to be doing, and make it appealing and sexy and seductive and realistic too. You don't, if it's too overwhelming for you to see yourself at your ideal weight, if that's too far away, like you can't even imagine that, that's okay too. Really just imagine yourself up on the screen being healthy and maybe 10 pounds or 20 pounds down the scale. But just, create a vision that inspires you, that you want to move towards, your evolutionary point, right? Put that up in front of you. And then you're going to work backwards from that vision. So you're going to have that vision, and then you're going to bring yourself, at least for weight management, you're going to bring yourself to the end of your day. So you're going to work backwards to a reverse engineer. And you can reverse engineer in increments that you want, like your ideal weight, and then you can see yourself at the end of the month, and then you can see yourself at the end of the week, and you can see yourself at the end of the day. But I just like to start with the big vision and go to, how do I want to feel by the end of today? Like, how is today going to contribute to that vision up on the screen, right? Like, I do stuff for my business. I set business goals. I set goals that I want, like putting my weight mastery program online. Like, that has been a big goal of mine for the last year. And there's been a lot of fear around it, a lot of like, oh, I can't, a lot of negative self-speak, and, all that stuff that goes along with, putting yourself at risk and having to do something you don't know really how to do. And, getting a team member that you don't, you haven't met, you're not comfortable with, bringing them on. Like, so there's been a lot of like discomfort points I've had to work through in order to do this next step. including today. It was a very uncomfortable day. I was having to do a lot of stuff I was not comfortable with. And sometimes I'm a big baby about that stuff. So self-hypnosis helps me, like I can vision everybody going through the program and doing, like having it really be a great, the program itself being like this great medium for them to be on their powerful journey of weight mastery. And then I can think about the fears, and I can think about what are my fears about today, and where am I going today? And I see myself coming out to the end of today, and I've accomplished these few things that I really wanted to accomplish. And then I can start at the beginning of my day and work through and say, well, how am I going to do that? Who am I going to have to connect with? What am I going to do? Now, with weight mastery, you see yourself going to bed at the end of the day, and you see yourself getting into bed and feeling light, like you exercised, like you ate healthfully, like you are stabilized and aren't, too full or off kilter or imbalanced, that you really, that feeling when you go to bed and you're like, wow, I really took care of myself today. It's such a wonderful feeling, isn't it? It's so magical. So imagining yourself on the screen, getting into bed, and then imagine yourself going through your day, seeing yourself go through your day. What meals are you going to eat? Where are you going to exercise? Putting those in your mind, right, ahead of time. What are you going to do at 1 o'clock when you typically go to the vending machine instead? Like, you're really placing these ahead of yourself, sort of like slides in a carousel. Those old slide carousels that used to go round and around, and you would put slides in them. You're like kind of placing these different images in front of yourself in your self-hypnosis. And then, like I said, you could really focus on one specific problem that you want to work on. Like I mentioned, the afternoon snacking, but it could be something like evening eating, or like the fact that maybe every day you come home and you say you're going to exercise, and then you end up, watching TV, watching the news instead. So, really visualizing, seeing yourself coming home, getting your tennis shoes on, and going out for that walk. Then once you've kind of gone through your day visually, you want to imagine yourself merging into that screen, and then going back to the beginning of your day and going through it as if it's your life, right? Because you're giving your brain a different experience of your day. You're, going from 2-dimensional into 3-dimensional, and really being in your body and really feeling those feelings. Feeling that feeling of, wow, I ate an apple instead of going to the vending machine, and I feel good and light coming home at night. Or I came home and I exercised and it feels so good in my body going to bed. Really feel those feelings, because those feelings are going to tell your brain, yes, this is good, this is where we want to go, and it's going to activate that part of your brain to help you achieve your goal. And then thank you. I just saw somebody, hey, you're doing great, don't be so hard on yourself. Thank you. I appreciate. Yeah, I know. We're all hard on ourselves, aren't we? Finish with going to bed feeling good. So you're going to finish that and add any gratitude. Like, I am so grateful that I ate an apple and I broke my afternoon chocolate habit. I'm so grateful that I have wonderful food to eat that's healthy. I'm so grateful to be able to walk and to, really, because gratitude also adds powerful, it's like adding magic fairy dust all over everything. I think gratitude really engages our brain in a powerful way. So I try to add a lot of gratitude with my self-hypnosis every day. Now, do you guys have any questions about this part of it before I get into the recording yourself? Any of you have any questions about the structure of this or the relaxation bit? Well, and then when you get to the end, sorry, that I'm so used to doing this, I didn't mention. So when you get to the end of your day, you can just take a nice deep breath And you can walk up the stairs and open your eyes, or you can just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, or you can just take a nice deep breath and open your eyes and get on with your day, or get on with your afternoon, or head off into a nice sleep if you are sleeping. If you fall asleep during your self-hypnosis, that might happen. That's okay. Obviously, your self-hypnosis will have ended. Don't be hard on yourself. But maybe the next time you want to sit up. Sometimes when I listen to myself in the morning, I do doze back. Now, but if you've recorded yourself, it is getting in there. But, you can definitely, when you finish your vision for, let's say, going to bed at night and thinking about exercise, you can definitely just allow that to help you fall asleep. So I'm not seeing any questions, so I am going to move on. So we are going to now talk about recording yourself and recording a self-hypnosis, which I really, really think you guys should all try. It can really be a lot of fun. So what you want to do is just start doing it. Really, it does take some courage because, typically most people are a little shy of listening to their own voices unless you're a voiceover artist or an actor or something like that. So, you are, or maybe you have your own podcast, or maybe you have some sort of, thing that you're used to recording. You're a musician or you're a singer or something. So then maybe you might not be, but most of us are a little shy. So just start doing it and really take that inner self-critic and put it to the side. I was working with a very high-profile artist not long ago who had come to see me for, they had a challenge with their voice, and they're a singer, and it was very interesting because they really felt like something had happened to their vocal cords, which something did, but I could see that the bigger issue, I was like, what's happening when you're, practicing, because they were going and practicing with a vocal coach and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't reach those notes anymore. And it was just like, and that expectation was holding them back. Right. So, and like literally we did this exercise where I was just like, what does that inner critic look like that's talking to you? What do they sound like? And what do they, and we do this in the shift, right? We get into like, what does your inner critic look like and sound like and feel like? And very similar to what we do in the shift. And it was so helpful because she didn't realize how critical she had, because it's just become so the water we swim in. And, this is somebody who just has an amazing voice, amazing artist, but so hard on themselves. You think, oh, well, they're this amazing artist who everybody loves and, it should be so easy for them. And no, so hard. So, think about that and think about it's don't put the critic to the side when you're going to do your self-hypnosis session, so you can just love on yourself and go through this and do this, because this can be really fun and very powerful. You know best what you can hear. I mean, like, I can do some hypnosis for you, but like I'm telling you, if you get this down, you can get really specific about what you need. And you can add additional recordings. I do this all the time. In fact, I listen to 2 or 3 recordings in the morning. I have one for, being healthy and good immunity. I have one that I made. And they're just short little things, but I just listen to them because they put the right messaging in my mind. It's like we sit in front of the TV and we get all these different messages all the time, right? And we're passive and they're just coming at us, but they're hypnotizing us. And we rarely are putting our own messaging in front of us that we want to hear for what we want to do. So come on, we got to make our own morning commercials or our own afternoon commercials for what we want, the life we want to live, right? So change your recording when you get bored or outdated, and it will probably be every couple of months. I try to do a new recording every quarter because that is what works well for me. So you can write out what you want to say. You can write a script, and usually it helps just to have an outline. You can write your relaxation. You can either do one of the relaxations I just walked you guys through. And you can, again, if this is a weight one, you can see yourself at your ideal weight. And you can ask yourself, what does that look like? Or you can even, say you're wearing that black dress that you bought in Monaco for that special event, and you look amazing, and your hair is done, and because you can really get more specific because this is for you. You're standing at that in the garden of that hotel that you love in Guadalajara, and you're there because you're celebrating, you're achieving your goal. You can get really specific. And then you can move it to the day and say, how do you want to feel by the end of today when we get into bed? And again, you can use the language and the questions that you want because they're going to be specific to you. You can say, how does it feel to have, avoided or, to have abstained from eating in front of the TV tonight if that's a thing that you want to break? How does it feel to have, cuddled with your kids and given them some love and, whatever it is, how does that feel? So that's engaging your brain. And then you're going to ask yourself, so how are you going to attain that today? And maybe, again, before dinner, before I went and watched TV, you're going to, make sure you're done with all of your meals. You're going to brush your teeth. You're going to be food free in front of the TV. That's going to make you feel really good. You can walk yourself through specific steps that you're going to do to attain that goal. Remind yourself of the new habits that you're creating, and walk yourself through your day and through that new habit. And focus on what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, right? So I am going to walk by that cupboard where the chocolate is, and I am just going to sit and have some water while I watch TV. Not like I'm not going to eat chocolate, because your brain doesn't really process negative, so then it's just going to hear, I'm going to eat chocolate. And focus on how following through makes you feel confident and fantastic. Now, there is another step you could do, and whether it's in your morning meditation or whether it's recorded, and this is if you're really trying to break a habit that is really hardwired in, right? Something that, maybe you do a couple of hypnosises, self-hypnosis, and the habit's still kind of persisting. And that is to take yourself down the path of pain before the path of gratification. Meaning, if you go and get a bunch of chocolate and eat it in front of the TV every night, the first step would be, so imagine yourself, you watch yourself doing your habit that you do as if it were up on the screen, or you walking yourself through it. See yourself opening the cupboard, getting the chocolate out, standing there, eating it, eating it mindlessly, eating those 5 pieces that you always eat. Now, putting the chocolate away or throwing the package away. And now, how does it feel in your stomach? How does it feel to have all that chocolate in your system? How does your blood sugar feel right now? How does it feel because you ate more than you wanted to? How does it feel? Ask yourself those questions. And what you're doing is asking yourself those questions that are going to make you feel negative, right? You're going to make you feel a negative emotion. And that's going to trigger your brain. The brain's like, I don't really want that. Because what we're doing is overpowering the dopamine center in our brain that wants reward, right? And our brain is wired to think that chocolate is reward. But if we can start to show the brain ahead of time in the self-hypnosis, no, this isn't a reward, it actually makes me feel like crap, the brain will start to get it. The brain will start to go, oh yeah, we don't want that. It's aversion therapy. Oh, we don't want that. And then you offer it what you do want. Walking by, oh, isn't it going to be wonderful to sit and watch television and drink a cool cold glass of water or a nice cup of hot tea on a cold winter night, all cuddled up in your blanket or whatever. Really paint that picture and how light and wonderful you'll feel going to bed that night having done that, right? So you can use the aversion first and then bring in the good ending, the happy ending, and always go back to that vision of getting into bed that night feeling good. And you can go through your day a couple of times. One, maybe imagining yourself like you're on the screen, and then two, going through your day in your body and seeing yourself actually living through that habit change that you want to make, or pushing the plate away when you've had enough instead of eating the entire plate. Whatever it is, you're visualizing it, and you're also emotionally connecting to it with your feelings. And then add some gratitude. Imagine yourself already at your ideal weight. You can go back to that and say, well, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for at my ideal weight? So it's not just about like, I want this thing, but what is it? I'm grateful that I can feel healthy. I'm grateful I can run up a flight of stairs, because you're acting as if you're already there and you're telling your brain what you're grateful for. It's a very powerful thing. It helps open up your mind. It helps engage your reticular activation system, which is a filtering system for your brain, because the brain is like, oh, we want that. Yeah, we're willing to go without those things because this seems way better. Write a list of what you're grateful for at your ideal weight, as if you've already attained your ideal weight. And if you are maintaining, imagine what it's going to feel like to have maintained your weight for a year. Imagine yourself a year from now. How are you going to feel? How grateful are you going to feel that you've maintained your ideal weight? That will be stunning, right? And then, add in, I'm grateful I can move so much easier. I'm grateful that I feel safe and comfortable in my own skin. I feel grateful that I've learned to exercise consistently 5 days a week, that I feel energetic and alive. I mean, anything these are ideas I'm throwing at you, but you are the master. And you can see that self-hypnosis is a structure of sorts, but it's an art form. It's just like learning to paint something. Here's the canvas, here's the paintbrush, here's some colors, but now use your mind, use your imagination to start to create. And guess what? Painters don't start out being awesome painters in the beginning. Pardon the parking alarm guy. Oh gosh, somebody moved to our neighborhood and they have this alarm that keeps going off. There it goes, it's off now. But you're the painter, you're the creator, but you got to just keep doing it. You'll get better and better, more confident, and it will become much more fun.
So there you go. I hope you are able to use this simple structure to help focus your mind on your goals in the morning and just get started. It's all about just getting started and getting going. Don't worry about being good. Don't worry about it being perfect. Just try it out and see how it works for you. I think you're really going to like it. Now, unfortunately, I don't have more time today to have you get into the second part, but email me or tag me and let me know if you would like to learn more self-hypnosis techniques. And have a wonderful week. And remember that the key, and probably the only key, to unlocking the door of the weight struggle is inside you. So keep listening and find it. Thanks for listening. Do you want to dive deeper into the mindset of long-term weight release? Head on over to www.shiftweightmastery.com. That's www.shiftweightmastery.com, where you'll find numerous tools and resources to help you unlock your mind for permanent weight release, tips, strategies, and more. And be sure to check the show notes to learn more about my book, From Fat to Thin Thinking: Unlock Your Mind for Permanent Weight Loss.